couple of the things that we're going to be talking about today were certainly promoted over the last 2 years by Ted. They were things that he felt we really needed to do within the region. And just as Sean talked about in the Twin Falls area, we've taken a hard look at consolidating some things that we've done with an effort to one, improve the quality of the product we were producing, and second, to consolidate expenses so that we could produce something that in fact cost the region less rather than the three components each doing their own thing. I was pleased to see, for instance, that the one of the things we're going to talk about is the visitor's guide. The Idaho Falls visitor's guide's up there with the blue ribbon on it. I appreciate that. We worked hard on that. And
we'll give you the ribbon to work
thanks.
on that too.
Yeah, we really have put a lot of effort in that in partnership with the businesses that we represent that have an impact on tourism in the Idaho Falls area. But I'm going to try to go through each of the elements, and I realize that you don't have a copy of them. I didn't realize that that was going to happen. I did submit it electronically, but I'll try to walk through each of the elements and explain to you what we're doing. And the first element we'll look at is element 3. I don't think we need to look at either the audit or the fulfillment piece, but in element 3 is travel and shows. And what we've done is coordinate within our region as to who's going to represent us where. And so I've listed here the American Bus Association and RMI, and what you'll find is that the other two components within Yellowstone-Teton territory won't be attending those. They will be attending shows that I will not be attending. So we've kind of spread those around. We've had very, very good luck with the ABA. As Rebecca was mentioning, we get a lot of buses through eastern Idaho, and we tried to track last year if we were doing any good with tenants at that meeting, and we know for sure that we got 41 additional buses full of people. We don't know how many that we weren't able to track, but we know we got that many. And if you figure 50 people on a bus, that's a pretty good piece of business that we got as a result of that. It's a huge show. It's hard to cover because the appointments are fast and furious, and there's lots of them, but we do well at it. And RMI is something that we've been to for the last 2 years. We hadn't been to it previous to my taking on this role, and I felt we had a real opportunity to attract some international traffic there. And last year, in fact, we had an opportunity to host some of the people from about 20 of the tour operators from and planners from Europe, and had very, very good luck with that, and followed up with them. And again, we're seeing business that we wouldn't have otherwise seen. Talk about collateral materials, and that's where the visitor's guide comes in. We're going to be doing this year regional visitor's guide. We realize that Rexburg, Teton area, and Idaho Falls may not be a destination, but we're a regional destination. People come through there as they're going other places. And so we want to take a hard look at really putting together a first-class visitor's guide that represents our region and our area, and we can do that with less total expenditure than the three of us have done individually in the past. And so I'll be spearheading that design and production of that visitor's guide, and so that's what that money is in there for. I also put in a couple of $1,000s for an area map. We don't have, believe it or not, in Idaho Falls a city map that people can go to easily. The only one we have is the traditional unfold it and try and figure out where the folds go when you put it back together. I want to produce one that's on a pad. We can mark it up, show people coming into our visitor center how to get places, tear it off, hand it to them, move on to the next one. So that's what that couple of $1,000s is for. Donna is going to be talking about integration of the website. I did put in a couple of $1,000s for that because I think it may take that just to move from an individual website for Idaho Falls over to a combined website. It may not, but I'm thinking that since we each have administrators of our own websites, you may have to spend a little money up front to get that taken care of. So I put a couple $1,000s in for that. Our advertising piece is a three-legged stool. We do internet advertising, we do written and magazine type of advertising, and we do billboards. We do billboards because we've been able to track the success. And like you were talking about a little earlier, we actually contracted with the economics department at BYU Idaho and had them do a study of where do our people come from and how many nights do they stay based on where they came from. Okay? So we know that we get heads in beds as a result of billboard advertising. We know that when we start that series in Salt Lake and move it north, that people actually do come off of the freeway, attend Museum of Idaho, attend some of our arts facilities, and stay in our hotels. And we know how many of those are. So we've actually done a thorough economic study of that, and we think it pays dividends to us. Special events and attractions, you can look through those, but those are pretty traditional. We've supported the Museum of Idaho in the past. We know it brings people into town, and many of those people, if they're traveling in from more than about 50 miles, are typically going to stay in one of our hotels. And so we've supported that. The Eastern Idaho Fly Tires has become a huge show. It's one of the largest fly fishing events in the country now. It gets bigger every year. In fact, our problem is right now we don't have a big enough venue to put it in. We could make it twice the size. We're getting a lot of people coming into town of that, so we plan on supporting it. And the Arts Council, you probably know about, is where we do our concerts. They do a great job of getting people in to Idaho Falls. Considering the size of the venues that we have, the most that we can bring into a concert in Idaho Falls is an attendance of about 1,600 people at the Civic Center. Considering that, we get some pretty good acts there. And one of the reasons is because we have the Colonial Theater, which is a great venue downtown. It's an old restored theater. And so we support them as well.